Hey, how you doing? My name is Zero Bethel, and today I'm going to go over the level that I built for this milestone. So I'll go ahead and open it up here in Perforce. Two mechanics that I built this particular sprint are the checkpoint and, of course, the aerial enemy that we're going to run into here. So the level that I built, I really modeled this after like this ant farm that I saw where they pretty much like poured concrete into it and then they dug it up. And I really like the way that the dirt and the sand kind of contoured around these paths that like lead towards lower levels within the anthill. So that was the idea. These aerial enemies that are like bugs, and you kind of like exploring that type of area. So we'll get to the first introduction here, and this is literally just hey, these are the enemies. This is what they do. If they get too close to you, if you hear, they will drain you. So you want to stay away from them, and you want to kill them. And so that's pretty much like the first thing you're gonna learn in the game. Get that into this chamber that I created, and you're gonna see quite a few of these just refuge areas. Player can kind of figure out what's going on, their bearings, process the information that they just gained from their last endeavor, and of course, introduce you to this lovely new mechanic here called the checkpoint, right? So this is the checkpoint. Where you see one, you walk over it and you save your current location. All right, so you walk over, it says you have reached a checkpoint. All right, so now whenever you die, which I'll show you, you will spawn back in this exact location. So, we go in here. Let's just say we got overwhelmed. It's too much going on. They're definitely draining, right? And then, right, so draining, and then for some reason I die. Oh man. So started right back at this spot, right? You don't have to start from the beginning of the level. You're back at the checkpoint, and this will happen every time you die. So we can kind of move forward here, right? So this area, the purpose of this area is really to give you the opportunity to practice what you just learned, right? To kind of familiarize yourself with these enemies that you just ran into and give you a bit more of a challenge by giving you more of them. Because really, their entire setup is to swarm and overwhelm. They're not meant to be strong. They're not meant to be hard to kill. But they're meant to be very overwhelming and borderline annoying if there's enough of them in this space. So another checkpoint that we'll go ahead and collect here. And we'll move forward into the level. All right, so here we have like main enemy area. This is where you get the practice to be a lot more enemies than before. Some are coming from the ground, some are coming from above. So I created some verticality here where you can like find yourself up and above them, to move around and to isolate, right? Like, for example, if you want, you can go up there and you can shoot all the aerial enemies and the ones on the ground can't get to you. So it just kind of give you like varying strategies you can use while you're playing the game. So we went ahead and we cleared that out. And so, I mean, the whole idea here is that, you're in this nest and you're trying to exterminate all of these bugs, right? These flying enemies that are just health drainers. They get close to you and they try to take everything. So we're going to collect some more health here because in a second we're going to get into the Queen's chambers. And something tells me that she's not a very nice person. Maybe it's the way that she's set up. So we get down these hallways. If you've noticed, right, like a lot of the lighting is very dim, very dark, just to give that underground feel. I didn't want it to be like, you're downstairs in the basement, but there's so much light here, right? You're literally underneath dirt and earth and things like that. So here's the Queen, right? As you've seen in most areas, which I didn't show, but in every area that you get into, there is a gate or a valve. The gate being, of course, how you get out the level, the valve being the way that you will not be going back. So you cannot leave this room unless you kill the Queen. And so here we are, just trying to survive, right? Using what you know, which is avoid them and shoot, right? So using the tactics that you learned earlier in the game, you should be able to, by just playing mastery of these mechanics, go ahead and finish off this final boss. And the good thing is, if you were to die in here, that fortunately enough, you did collect a checkpoint in that last chamber, so you'll just be started back at this area. So we'll see if we can't get rid of the queen. And if you can see, she eats, right? So it's not. It's not going to be as easy as dispatching like the smaller grunt units. She has more health and she drains a lot more. But that's a boss fight for you. So we're here. You see, she gets dark, and eventually she does die. So that'll end the level here. And I'll go ahead and pass this over to Bean. I'll let him explain his level. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell, right? Like a nice nest situation where the player's here to exterminate, move on to the next level. And that's pretty much what I designed.